What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the NYG Blue Zone. It's your boy Attikis. Before I get into it today, I want to ask you guys to please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so every time we drop some new content, you're one of the first ones to be notified. And don't forget to check out our new merch. Go to nygbluezone.com. We got all kind of good stuff on the website. So we appreciate you guys spending some time with us today. And if you listened to the podcast yesterday, the post-game show, after that 33-15 embarrassing loss to the New England Patriots, you know I was pretty damn numb. But not today. I'm not numb anymore. Actually, I'm a little bit angry. I'm disappointed. I'm pissed. Because yesterday, we didn't lose another football game. But you know what I lost? I lost the last shred of respect that I had for the leadership of this franchise. Joe Schoen held his bye-week press conference, and it was supposed to start at 1:45 p.m. You know what time he showed up? 2:15. He was 30 minutes late. Now, normally, who gives a shit, right? Traffic happens, meetings run long. But let's look at the context. We just benched our first round, number 3 overall draft pick, Abdul Carter, for the first quarter of the game because he was late to a meeting. Now, I know this was his second time, but he was late for a meeting. And we preaching culture and accountability to these 21-year-old kids. And then the GM, the man responsible for setting that standard, setting the tone, keeps the entire media corps and the fan base waiting for a half an hour while he seemingly tries to get his story straight. That's the most hypocritical shit you can think of. Yep, and he did that to us. And when he finally did walk out there, he didn't even look like a leader. You know what he looked like? He looked like the walls was closing in on him. He was gasping for air in his opening statement. He looked unsettled. He looked uneasy. He looked confused. He looked defeated. Frankly, he looked like a dead man walking. Now, if you want to know how confident a man is, listen to how he answers the tough questions. I took a lot of notes for this podcast today. When Joe Schoen didn't answer them, he dodged them with a robotic, rehearsed crush that drove me absolutely fucking insane. Every time a reporter, and credit the beat writers, they actually pushed him yesterday, but every time they asked him about his job security or why he deserves to stay, he just kept saying, I understand the question. Joe, you've lost 25 of your last 30 games. Why should John Mara keep you? I understand the question. Joe, you fired the coach. You fired the coach that you hired. Why should you hire the next one? I understand the question. Joe, we need you to understand the question. Joe, we don't need you to understand the question. We need you to answer the question. It was the response of a guy who has no defense left. He kept saying, 2 wins is not where we want to be. Nobody's more frustrated than me. Really? I'm a season ticket holder. They send me an invoice every single fucking year to pay for tickets, to go to a stadium, to watch a team play that's done nothing but hurt me year after year. Nobody's more frustrated than you? You're making almost $2 million a year to run this franchise into the ground. Nobody's more frustrated than you? You're getting paid to do this, and you're not doing it well. I promise you, Joe Schoen, there are far more people who are more frustrated than you. We're paying to watch this happen. We devote our Sundays, our Mondays, our Thursdays, some of us more time than that, to watch you destroy this roster. So let's get into the meat of this. Shane kept asking us to look at the process and the talent. Okay, let's take a look at it. I want to talk about free agency because this is where Joe Schoen has single-handedly crippled this franchise. He let Xavier McKinney, an all-pro safety, a homegrown leader, walk out the door. He let Saquon Barkley walk, and what did he do with that money? He panicked. He went out and threw $54 million over 3 years at a cornerback, Paulson Adebo. How has that worked out? He's a penalty machine. He threw $44.3 million over 3 years at safety Javon Holland. Holland has been a ghost. He can't tackle. He spent nearly $100 million to downgrade our secondary. That's a fireable offense on its own. He admitted yesterday, I've made mistakes. Yeah, Joe, you fucking think you have? But these aren't little mistakes. These are salary cap destroying anchors that's going to drag us down for years. And don't get me started on the offensive line. Where we at, year 4? Year 4? And we're still talking about fixing the offensive line? Evan Neal was a bust. That's a top 10 pick that Joe Schoen staked his reputation on. And the guy can't play. He don't even have a uniform anymore. He told the press yesterday that he's not going to make the same mistake twice. Joe, fucking newsflash, bro. You've already made the same mistake 3 or 4 times. You keep trying to shop in the bargain bin for linemen, overpaying for DBs, and the result is we're a 2-11 football team. Like, how much more do we need to see? How is it that a guy in the Poconos with a podcast can see something so obviously that Maritish and whoever is running this football team cannot see when it comes to Joe Schoen? And I promised myself I was going to be fair. I'm not just a hater. I'm going to give credit where credit is due, even if it pains me to do so, because there are some bright spots. And even though they fell in his lap, you got to get a guy credit, right? So he's done a few things right. And it's the only reason he probably hasn't been fired yet. Malik Neighbors, the kid is a superstar. He had a historic rookie season. And Shane got that pick right. He didn't overthink it. He just took the best player available, which you kind of got to give him credit for because he did pick him. Jackson Dart, I think we found our franchise quarterback. He's shown a lot of flashes. He is tough, sometimes too tough, but he was NFL ready the minute he stepped on the field. And I got to give him credit for some of the mid-round picks like Tyrone Tracy Jr. The running back room is cheap, it's productive. So, yeah, he can still scout some positions. I'll give him that. But hitting a wide receiver in the first round does not excuse the fact that you can't build a trench on either side of the ball. You can't win with just a receiver and a rookie quarterback when the defense is giving up 30 points in one half of a game. So why does Joe Schoen think he should keep his job? He laid out his case yesterday, and honestly, he kept talking about this good nucleus of talent, and he's just echoing and parroting what John Mara said when he said he was going to allow him to retain his position and begin a head coaching search. He said, and I quote, "That's when it gets fun, when you're building around a young quarterback on a rookie contract. It gets fun? Joe, we're 2-11. We are a laughing stock with a kicker who's kicking the dirt instead of the ball. Literally. Nothing about this is fun. He seems to think because we got Malik Neighbors, Jackson Dart, Andrew Thomas when he's healthy, that he's built a contending football team. But he's ignoring what's rotten in the core of the foundation of this organization. He's ignoring the fact that he has failed to build a culture. Dude was 30 minutes late for his own press conference after benching his superstar edge rusher, Abdul Carter. Yo, he looked us in the eye yesterday, and he said he's confident he can hire the next head coach because the phone is ringing and people want this job. But let me ask you. Let me ask everybody who's watching this. Do you trust Joe Schoen to hire the new head coach of the Giants? He hired Brian Dable. Failed. He hired Shane Bowen. Failed. Why should John Mara give him a third swing at the plate? Joe Schoen looked like he was uncomfortable because he knows the truth. The process, his process, if that's what you want to call it, it has failed. The nucleus that he has given us is losing games by 20 points. And no amount of saying, I understand the question, is going to change the fact that this team is broken. He asked us for patience. He asked for one more year. Based on that press conference, based on what he's given us so far, he's had 4 years already. I don't think he deserves another day. I think his key card should have been deactivated at the conclusion of his press conference. But I want to know what y'all think. What did you think about Joe Schoen's press conference? And I do want to say one other thing. I really didn't like the fact that he tried to say it was an organizational decision to draft Jackson Dart when it was Dable who really pushed him to get that kid. Dable was right about that one. Schoen was not. Again, if Schoen had it his way, we would have been drafting Cam Ward, which I'm not saying Cam Ward is not going to be a good quarterback because I was all in on him too. But Dable saw something in Dart that we all see now. That was not Schoen, and he does not deserve credit for that one. I want to know what y'all think. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, so every time we drop some new content, you're one of the first ones to be notified. And don't forget, please check out our new merch. Go to NYGBlueZone.com. Get your coffee mug, get your hoodies, your hats, your mouse pads, and all of those things can be ordered and delivered to you just in time for Christmas. So thanks for spending some time with us, everybody. Bye for now.
Yeah, a lot of girls probably crying from my old high school. Look, they see me everywhere they go. I probably would too. Look, crossed over to the Jordan man like I'm Michael. Yeah, eating blessings so much I might need lipo. Yeah, tailored for the doves like I'm walking in chucks. Yeah, it's just in this plan, man, I see all y'all shook. Look, knew that I was great ever since I was a rook. Man, all y'all singles making me look good. Okay, praise to the Most High, yeah, that's Jesus. Look, but when it come to this rap thing, I can't lose. Yeah, back-to-back number ones, that's the thing greats do. Yeah, tell them boys that ain't nothing I can't do. It's my year. It's my year.